Hello and welcome to IATEFL Live. My name is Georgia Papamichailidou, and oh my gosh, can you believe it? We're just 13 days away from the IATEFL Conference in Edinburgh. And of course, as promised, every episode this month is your backstage pass, or if you want a sneak peek into the heart of the conference. So whether you already started packing your suitcases or whether you will be joining us from far, far away, this is your chance to catch the IATEFL vibe, meet some of the amazing voices shaping our field, and of course, just get a taste of what's to come at the IATEFL conference this year. Of course, with me today, I have got my wonderful hosts. I have got Anka and Nikki. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
So, first things first, have you already started packing?
No, but I will. But then I'm going slightly later than you to Edinburgh. I'm coming next weekend, but you're actually leaving next week, aren't you? On like Thursday or Friday. You're getting in super early. So yeah, not yet.
I feel that sustainability-wise, it is my solemn duty that if I'm traveling and having an impact on this planet for anything work-related, I need to add extra time for enjoyment and cultural enrichment.
Oh, absolutely.
That's very true. I mean, I have packed the essentials, Teddy and the little ducks. So these are the most important things. We don't need anything else.
You've got everything. And have you got lots of fun things planned?
Oh, absolutely. So for the people watching us from home, just to let you know, with Anka and Nikki, we are organizing the live shows. And we will have games with the delegates and hopefully with our speakers as well, and especially Jon Burton, who will be talking to us later with the latest updates from the conference as well. But I think it's time to invite our first speaker of the day, because in these live shows, as I said before, we will be bringing you a taste from the IATEFL conference. And we have got our first speaker today. So, Nikki, we will see you later. And Anka, are you ready to welcome your first guest?
I am.
Excellent. So let's welcome Dr. Catherine Walter. Catherine, thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Excellent. So I'm going to leave you to talk about the plenary. And of course, for the people watching us from home, this is the information that you will see at the bottom of the screen about our plenary speaker as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to write your questions in the comments box and we will be replying to your questions. Let's go for it.
Now, Catherine, first question. I think you're one of the bigger names that most people will know, should know, especially because for the plenaries, we tend to invite people that will inspire the audience. Can you tell the few people who don't know you something about yourself?
Well, let's see. My first IATEFL conference was in 1975. So this is my 50-year anniversary in IATEFL.
Wow.
I taught English and trained teachers at International House in Paris in the 1970s. Then I went on to work in higher education in France. I stopped teaching for a while and wrote textbook materials for learning, most of them with my partner Michael Swan, whose name people might also know. And I was the first female president of IATEFL.
Yay! That's an impressive list.
And I kept writing. The materials writing was exciting and wonderful, and I loved it. But I missed the classroom. By that time, we were living in the UK. And so I decided in my 40s to go back to university. I went to Cambridge and did a PhD in applied linguistics. I worked in, my research is in the area cognitive science, actually, which relates to one of the other plenary speakers. I was looking at reading and the cognitive bases of second language reading. And then I taught at what is now UCL and then at the University of Oxford. And I've always also been very, very interested in inclusivity, equality, and diversity and inclusivity. And I've recently done a lot of work in that area, both at university level and elsewhere. And fun fact, at age 65, I decided I wasn't very fit, so I tried to get some advice from one of my sons. And the result of that is I am a competitive power lifter.
I'm impressed. Like, I'm so impressed. I'm intimidated right now. Wow. But having such a list of things that you've done, you already mentioned you were the first female president of IATEFL. Your talk is also going to be about IATEFL, right?
Well, I was deeply honored when I was asked to give this plenary, but I did say, why me? And part of the answer was, we would like to focus on the classroom. So I'd like to look at the differences and similarities between my first IATEFL conference and this IATEFL conference. I'm being kind of brave because I think you ought to take a chance every day, take a risk. When you stop doing that, it's time to step away. So I'm going to look at some questions that may be seen as big questions, like who are the teachers then and now? What is their role? Who are the learners? How is their diversity recognized in the classroom? How is learning conceptualized then and now? What is a classroom? Do we need another term for the space that we're not always comfortably including in the term classroom? How are we teaching English, and which English or Englishes are we teaching? How is teaching English the same as and different from teaching other things? What's the relationship between research and practice? What's the role of technology? And so those are the kinds of things I'd like to address. So it's not going to be a classical sort of, here is the history of what's happened in the English language teaching profession. I'm going to try to take a step back and look at these important questions and see what may be the same, what may be different, and and in looking into this, of course, it's been very clear to me that that change is never, as people who are following the news in the outside world at the moment may well have understood, in a straight line. It's never a straight line. There are things that were being done in the past that perhaps might be seen as more progressive as what we're doing today. And I'd like to explore some of those things too. There you go.
That does sound like a risky but fun plenary to attend. Can you give us a spoiler, something that will make people definitely want to come or watch it back? Like one of those things that will pique our interests.
Well, I collaborated in some materials in which a same-sex couple with a child appeared for the first time. I'll let you guess what year that was.
Oh, I'm afraid to. Let's have a look. Maybe people in the comments are helping me out. What kind of year are we expecting? Not seeing anything yet. So I think with these kind of things, it's always later than you hope and think. So after the 2000s, for sure. No?
Nope.
Before?
Yep.
Really?
Absolutely.
I had no idea we were that progressive.
Well, remember I told you it wasn't necessarily a straight line.
True. I think that's very true. So we have these things that are progressing and then stop and then progress further or again.
And I think that's one reason why it's really important to try and get a conspectus, because people see that. Well, first of all, it helps you avoid reinventing the wheel. And secondly, I think it gives people hope to see that they're not striking out completely in new territory, that some of this has gone on before and maybe we've slid back a while, but things can be achieved and you can move forward and do things better.
We can. And I think I'm seeing it in the comments as well. Impressive. Wow. Looking forward to the plenary. I also can't wait to hear you discuss these kind of questions in front of a rather large audience. One question, you said your first IATEFL was 50 years ago. Can you tell me a bit about what it was like then? I think we all remember our first IATEFL.
Yes.
Like, what was it like for you 50 years ago?
Well, it was one of my first visits to the UK because, as you can tell from my accent, I'm not from around here. I grew up in Texas. I left Texas when I was in my early 20s. I did my second degree at the Sorbonne, and then I stayed on to work in Paris after that. And I came to the UK, and it was fascinating to me to see the cultural differences between, on the one hand, France and the UK, also between America and the UK. I come from the south of the United States, and my family is Louisiana Cajun, and our culture is actually more like French culture than it is like British culture. So I think that was one surprising things, even though I've been using British materials in my teaching and so on. It was really interesting to see the cultural differences between countries, and that got me thinking about a lot of things. It was a wonderful experience to see such a wealth of materials, so many different people, because even at that time, people were coming from quite far away to IATEFL conferences. And yeah, it was terrific.
Do you have a tip? Like, out of all the IATEFL attendees and delegates, I'd say you're the professional. Like, I'm an enthusiastic amateur. I've been going for a couple of years now, but you're a professional delegate. What's a tip for people who are going this year?
May I give a tip instead for a presenter?
Yes.
Okay. For a first-time presenter or an early career presenter, you may not get a lot of people at your presentation, but the people who come to your presentation are going to be people who are there because they're interested in your topic and they're interested in what you have to say. I can remember at Brighton, maybe 25 years ago, I was intrigued by the title of a presentation about in the area of teaching phonology. And so I went to the presentation. It was a first timer. There were only, I think, 6 people in the room. But those people were really interested. And I mean, I wasn't a big name, but there were 2 people who were the heads of applied linguistics units at British universities. That person got such quality of attention and met the people. And even if they hadn't been, she would have met the people that were interested in what she had to do. So if you don't have very many people at your presentation, don't worry about it. Secondly, for attendees, I would say choose the things that really call to your heart. Don't be transactional, and leave yourself some time to to socialize and to get to know people, because this is going to be an incomparable opportunity to get to know people from all sorts of backgrounds who share with you a love of teaching and a devotion to teaching well and with affection.
So true. And I think for both cases applies quality over quantity. And with such an overwhelming conference with, as you said, sometimes rather not underwhelming, but very limited attendees to sessions, that's very good to keep in mind. Quality over quantity. Thank you so much. And as I said, quality over quantity. I'm definitely going to try and attend your talk or watch it back. Because as Georgia put in the chat, all the plenaries are broadcasted the same day on our live streams as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Catherine, before we say goodbye, first of all, thank you very much for the tip that you gave on first-time speakers, because I think that this is something that is not talked about very often. And we understand that a lot of first-timers have got this anxiety, performance anxiety as well, but also networking anxiety, because this is a big chance for them. So before we let you go, though, I have got one question for you.
Okay.
So what are you most looking forward to from the conference? Have you seen any sessions that you would like to attend? Are there any tips or topics or themes that you would like to see at the conference?
I'm fascinated by all of the plenary talks, and I'm really looking forward to them. But to be fair, what I'm looking forward to the most is making contact with old friends and making new friends.
Amazing. Well, Catherine, we're looking forward to seeing you at the studio as well. And of course, watching your plenary on Tuesday, 8th of April at 9 o'clock. So see you there.
Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you. And we are going to watch now a sneak peek from Edinburgh, and we'll see you soon. Of course, looking at these photos from IATEFL Brighton last year really bring fantastic memories. We had so much fun at the studio, outside the studio, and as the promo said, we made lots of friends that we can't wait to meet again this year in 13 days. And together with me, I have got Jon Burton, who will be bringing us updates from the IATEFL conference in Edinburgh. And of course, let's welcome Jon to our live show. Hello, Jon. Jon, of course, you know, this is the classic you're muted situation that we still have from 2020.
Now, how many times have we done that? Or have I done that since the pandemic? Goodness gracious, I've learned nothing. Hi, everybody. Lovely to see you all again.
Jon.
Yes.
13 days. Have you started packing?
No. No, we've got far too much. We've got lists of things to do. So we're getting there. It's very exciting. And yeah, we will get to the end of the final list just before the conference starts, and then it's over to the delegates and the members of the association and the community of English language teaching professionals. They run the conference. It's their conference.
Exactly. What is one very important item that you're going to pack for the conference?
Oh, so many things. Probably my phone charger, if I'm honest with you. But, yes, I'm not going to bring a coat or an umbrella because the weather's going to be beautiful. So I always say the same thing: comfortable shoes. They're probably the most important thing because everybody at the conference builds up so many. It's really healthy. It's very good for us. We build up so many steps, but you do need good shoes for it.
Yeah, it's true. I think that I'm going to pack my water bottle, to be honest, because we really need to drink lots of water at the conference. So don't forget your either whether it is that big or smaller.
Good gracious.
Yes, I promise it's water. At the conference, I can't promise that will be water.
Okay. Right, let me give you some information, Georgia, because as you say, it's coming around frighteningly quickly now. So I'm just going to put up a couple of slides for people of some key things I wanted to point out. So as we said, it is just a few days away, starting on the 8th of Edinburgh. And we passed a milestone yesterday in that online bookings for the conference closed yesterday. So that means you're unable now to go onto our website and book your place. However, don't worry, because you can just arrive on the day and register for that day or for several days or for the whole conference at the conference center itself. And what I would recommend if you're planning to do that is go to the conference website and you can download the registration form and fill it in before you get there to save you a job when you arrive at the venue. So yes, the 8th, and actually it doesn't even start on the 8th because of course on the 7th of April, we have our pre-conference events, and there is still time to attend one of these. Again, online bookings for the pre-conference events have closed, but again, you can turn up on the day. But please do go to the conference website now because one or two of them are getting pretty full up now. So just check there's availability. But they, again, are their own one-day conference organized by our amazing special interest groups. And there is really a topic for everyone in the profession. So that's a really nice way to start the week. Let me move on to the next important thing. Visiting the conference website is still worthwhile. One of the most important reasons to do that now is actually to have a look at the conference program. It's available now. You can download it now, and it's a really nice way to start your planning of the things that are going to excite you, the things that you want to do, the things that you want to prioritize. All the information of all the sessions, plus the social program, the exhibition, and the whole experience. It's all in the program. So do go to the conference website and download the program now and start planning your week. If you have registered, then an exciting thing for this year, which we haven't done for the last few years, is that we will also have a conference app this year. And if you have registered for the conference, you look out very soon. In the next day or two, you'll be getting an email from us explaining how to download the app. I think we're hopefully going to go into this in a little bit more detail in next week's live stream. But the advantage of the app is that you can see, again, all the sessions, and you can actually select and add certain sessions to your agenda. So you can plan your week, and when you get there, you can just follow your agenda. So all the information's on the app, and we'll send delegates information about how to download and use the app in the near future. I think I'm nearly there, Georgia, I promise you, but I just want to finish by highlighting one of the things that I'm most excited about. We actually started it last year, and it was such a success. We've grown it this year. Our sort of key aim as IATEFL is linking, developing, and supporting English language teaching professionals around the world. And an amazing way that we do this in the break times is we run what we call meetups on the IATEFL stand. And they're an opportunity for you, whoever you are, in whatever setting you work in what part of the profession you work in, there you will find delegates who are in similar positions to you. So if you're a first-time delegate, there's a meetup for you. It's actually the first break of the first morning. But there are meetups for freelancers, people who work for themselves, for managers and directors, for online and one-to-one teachers, for primary and secondary school teachers, materials writers, editors and publishers, for university and college lecturers, for teaching associations, our amazing associate teaching associations, and for teacher trainers. And those meetups on the IATEFL stand are a fantastic opportunity to just make new colleagues, make new friends, and build your network. So they are a really exciting addition to the conference, which I'm really looking forward to seeing this year as well.
Jon, can I say, because that was the event that we did last year for the first timers as well.
That's right.
I had so much fun meeting people who were at the conference for the first time. It was incredible. We were playing a game as well, so...
do you know, it's so important because I think we've all been there. We've all been to that conference where we don't know anybody else. And you feel, gosh, everybody knows each other, but I don't know anybody. But going to that particular meetup, the first timers meetup, is a great way of just making a buddy that you can perhaps share experience with over the next few days. So that's a really nice meetup. And then if you are a one-to-one teacher, for example, or an online teacher, then this is your opportunity to meet other people who are doing the same thing as you, share experiences, share challenges. And so this is what I think IATEFL is all about. We're a community and we're bringing people together.
Absolutely. And we have got a live example of what IATEFL is all about, because Chris asked a question about the past conferences, and another member of the audience replied with the link to that. And this is what IATEFL is all about. Wow. Sharing information and helping each other find their way around the conference. So this is what we mean when we say that this is a community, really.
Chris, I'm going to answer your question straight away because I can see it. So the last few conferences are on the IATEFL conference website. There's a page called Past and Future Conferences. You can see where we're going to be over the next few years, but also for the last few conferences, you can also access all of the plenaries and the program from each of those conferences. Looking further back, again on the website, on the About Us section of the website, there we have shared free of charge a publication called The History of IATEFL, which was produced back in 2017. And I know, I can't tell you which page, but I could quickly check. There's a page on there which goes through right from the very first IATEFL conference through to the book being published. It lists per year where the IATEFL conference has been. So that is should be a relatively easy way for you to find the answer to your question, where was the first one that I attended, or where was the very first one of all.
Jon, speaking of past IATEFL conferences, what is one conference that will stay with you forever? Because something happened there and you really, you were impressed, or you really
That's
liked
an easy
it?
one for me, actually. I'm going to say Birmingham in 2016, because I wasn't working for IATEFL at that point. I was the principal of a further education college, which was an institutional member of IATEFL. And I was going along just to find out a little bit more in more detail about the association, because I was considering applying to take on the role of the chief executive. And it gave me a fantastic experience. I was lucky because it was also the 50th conference, celebrating the 50th conference. So it was a special conference in that way as well. The only problem with it was that, yes, in April in Birmingham, it snowed, which I wasn't quite prepared for. But other than that, it was an amazing experience. And it spurred me on to apply to come and work for IATEFL.
Oh, amazing. I think that mine would be Harrogate, because Harrogate
it's a lovely place.
Was incredible. A lovely little place. The conference venue was the central point. A fantastic area, little restaurants as well where we could go and meet up. And the conference felt like home. It was just fantastic.
We take over Harrogate when we're there. And we're excited to be in Edinburgh, of course, because it's the first time we've been at this venue as well. So for many people, I think it'll be the first time in Edinburgh, and it's a great opportunity to visit an amazing city.
Fantastic. So, Jon, before we go to our next guest, I have got one last question for you. Because you did mention the app.
Yes.
Now, what I don't understand is how the app will help us during the conference.
Right. It's a good question. It's an assistant so it's not a replacement for our program. We are sensitive about our program because we're sensitive about sustainability. We try not to print unnecessary programs. The key thing is that the app supplements the program. So all of the abstracts from the sessions are available in the app. And the other thing is, for people who don't want to carry around a big bag and have got their phone with them, then all the information's there. And as I said, the great advantage of it is you can flick through the sessions or search for a speaker you're particularly looking out for, and you can add that session to your agenda so that you can build up a little plan for yourself of what you're intending to do through the week. So it's a supplement rather than a be-all and end-all kind of thing.
Excellent. And I like the fact that you added sustainability as well, because one element that I truly enjoyed last year was that we had the option to return the lanyards.
Absolutely, and the programs, and all of the programs are printed on forestry assured paper using non-synthetic inks, and we actually make sure that our programs are always printed in the destination city where we're holding the conference, so there is no carbon footprint of getting the programs to the venue as well. So we try to build sustainability into each of the actions in planning and running the conference.
Amazing. And of course, Jon, I asked you about sustainability because our next plenary speaker will be focusing on sustainability.
He really knows what he's talking about far more than I do. Absolutely.
Brilliant, Jon. Thank you so very much for the update. We will definitely see you next week in the last IATEFL live show before the conference.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, Jon, and see you next week.
See you next week, everybody.
Oh, and we're back. Hello. So welcome back. And we're joined by one half of our final plenary of the conference, and that's Harry Waters. Hello, Harry. How are you? Oh, no. Harry, I can't hear you, but I don't know if that's just me. Oh, I've got no sound. Georgia or anyone else, can you
Hello, everybody. We apologize. We are facing some technical issues. So, Harry, I'm going to remove you from the stage and then add you again, just to make sure that we have got the right sound. And this is very interesting because Harry will be talking not on his own on stage at the conference, but he will also have someone else to join him. Okay, so let's try again to see if Harry has got sound. Harry?
Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Fantastic.
I have no idea what happened. It told me I was muted when the video was on, and then I came on and I made sure I was unmuted, but I was still muted somehow. I don't know, but you can hear me now.
Okay. We know that the machines are taking over, so that's absolutely fine. Don't worry.
I'm here with my co-speaker. Only a photo of her because she's.
Well, Harry, tell us a bit about you and your co-speaker, so that anyone who hasn't met you yet can get more of a picture.
Okay, I'm not a competitive weightlifter, unlike our previous. I'm not a competitive anythinger really. I'm not very competitive. I am a teacher trainer, author, and other such things. I work in the realm of sustainability in English language teaching, and my fellow presenter is a somewhat younger version who is not a teacher, nor is she a teacher trainer. She is in fact a student and my daughter, and also works in the realm of sustainability, because I'm not sure it counts as work if you don't get paid for it. Is very passionate, as has been involved in sustainability for a larger portion of her life than most people in the sustainability realm have. About 50% of her life she's been involved in sustainability, activism, change making, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's us. Harry and Ali, or Ali and Harry more appropriately, because I'm the assistant, let's be honest.
And Ali and Harry, so how did you get into sustainability and making change? And especially Ali, because what age is she? She's 11?
She's 11 now, yeah. I've been involved in sustainability and activism for as long as I can remember. Activism, certainly. Sustainability came about more as I got older and older, and I traveled the world and I saw things that were happening that didn't seem right. Things that were happening because of human activity and so on. So when I realized the power we hold as teachers, I felt it was only the right thing to do would be to try and help influence others to make positive impacts on the planet and the people around them. Ali was a bit different, really. It was more, we can thank the pandemic for this. Is that something that we can say? Can we say that? I mean,
that's not very often, but okay.
Yeah, we were watching Maddie and Greg Let's Go Live, which was a YouTube show, and they interviewed the founders of Kids Against Plastic. And Ali was 6 at the time, and she was watching it, and she said, "I want to be like them when I'm bigger." And by bigger, she meant, well, the age she is now, more or less, because Amy and Ella Meek, the founders of Kids Against Plastic at the time, were 12, 13 kind of. They were by no means big. They are much bigger now, fully grown adults, but still running Kids Against Plastic. And yeah, she got into Kids Against Plastic, and she's been involved with them ever since, working with them on. She has her own campaign to collect 1 million pieces of litter, for example, not on her own, with other people around the world. She's currently I even posted it today, I think, on LinkedIn. So anyone who's watching on LinkedIn Live, you can check it out. It was 956,000 pieces of plastic litter collected from the environment. Yeah,
is she doing this on her own?
Well, she's doing it, but then other people are doing it around the world as well. So there have been 1,800 litter picks. There have been people picking in Australia, people picking in Morocco. one of the other speakers on Friday, Emily Bryson, has been picking while she was going around South America. So there were picks in some of the most remote places you've ever seen. American picks, sorry, the United States of America, not America. That's a whole lot more than just that. But everywhere, every habitable continent has had a litter pick done on it. So
wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty cool.
And is this the first time that you and Ali are presenting together, or are you kind of, is this quite normal for you two?
On a big stage, yes. I mean,
Okay.
we have done, so we do stuff at, her school. We've done a few sessions there where we'll do it in Spanglish because we live in Spain. So, we do it half in Spanish, half in English, and, we work together on that. But usually it's Ali doing something or me doing something, because we don't tend to, our sustainability worlds don't exactly cross over. They kind of do, but they don't exactly. And when it comes to this plenary, I don't know how to say it. I've heard other people say plenary, and it makes me think I'm saying it wrong because I say plenary. But anyway, I'm going to say plenary because that's what I say.
Okay.
It might be wrong. I'll be told that I'm wrong, but it's fine. I'm okay with being wrong. I can then learn from that and move on. So this is focused not necessarily solely about sustainability. These are questions that have come from Ali that are about things that she, as a young person, as a student, would like to learn about in education. The things that they're 5 burning questions, as it says there, to education from a young change maker. So it's not solely about sustainability or, inverted commas here, saving the planet. It's about the things that she would really love to learn. And she's even written a few things down here in answer to the questions because she couldn't be here. One of them said, what inspired you to give the plenary? I said it different that time.
There you go. You changed that now. Okay.
There you go. Just switching it up. And what she's written is, it's always teachers, grown-ups, and education people that do these conferences. You never tell me about the kids, and they're the ones who have to learn. So that was her kind of basic reason for doing it.
Well, it's fair enough. Ali may well be the youngest plenary speaker that IATEFL's ever had.
It's a strong possibility. It is a strong possibility.
Yes.
And yeah, what she said as well was that she is in education. She is a student, but she understands that she isn't the voice of every student. Because that's what she wants to learn, and maybe what her friends want to learn, and the people in Kids Against Plastic. She knows that not every kid wants that, but surely every kid should have the right to, these different ideals and not simply, make sure you can get your B1 so you can go to university, so you can get your this for that. Because, education is far more than a piece of paper. It should be far more than a piece of paper, but it sometimes feels like as teachers, we don't have the time to maybe avoid that end goal, as it were. And that end goal is so often for students, and not only students, the students' parents quite often, that end goal is seen as this piece of paper, this certificate, this thing that will open so many doors for them, when actually what education should open doors for people. But it shouldn't just be, I got this certificate to open this door, but I can now speak English, I can communicate, I can question others, I can correct my teacher when he says plenary instead of plenary, like all of these different things. And not simply, 5 hours of maths and 5 hours of language every single week, the same, getting sent homework, which is basically just repetition of the same things they've done, and going into exams and vomiting out the information and then coming back home and forgetting about it until you go back the next year when you vomit out the same information but with a little bit of extra information because you've relearned it. And maybe there are other things that we could learn about. Maybe there are other things maybe there are more important things that we need as students and as teachers as well. Like, We need that variety as teachers.
Absolutely. And this was going to be my question to you, which was, how has working with such a young activist, someone like Ali, how has it changed or influenced your teaching and learning, or has it?
Massively.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky as well that I get to work with other activists as well. I do a lot of work with Kids Against Plastic as their chair of trustees, so I get to see them, these young people evolve and grow, and they have meetings every Saturday, and I get to see these meetings of them teaching each other as well about these different things in the world that are so important but aren't covered in the national curriculum or the LOMLOE or whichever country you're from, whatever your government tells you have to teach. So I've been lucky enough to see that, and it's influenced my teaching massively. I have classes every Monday and Wednesday, a couple of groups of classes, and I'm not really sure how to say this in English, but no hay color. Like, they're nowhere near the same as how I used to teach. It's gone away from that a lot. Yes, we still talk about the present simple, the present continuous, past perfect. We do still have grammar in there. We do even have gap fills from time to time. But when we look at the information going into those gap fills, it's not just the same old things that we've done before. Or, when we're writing letters, it's not write a letter to your English speaking friend and ask them what to do in Edinburgh, which would be an appropriate B1 task for the IATEFL conference. However, if you are sitting in, 35-degree heat in Seville thinking, how is that relevant? So I've tried to turn my teaching away from that to turn it into something that's more relevant. And we still practice these tasks. We still practice these exam tasks that they will need, but they have a different focus. They have a more humanistic focus, a more sustainability focused outcome.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, we're very much looking forward to hearing what you and Ali have to, the 5 burning questions, and also how you potentially answer them. So you're saying you're closing for us on the Friday at 2:30 p.m. Oh, so we can't wait for that. But before I let you go, Harry, I do have one question. In the name of sustainability, do you have a favorite secondhand shirt, and is there a story behind it?
A favorite secondhand shirt. I've got lots of favorite secondhand shirts, to be honest, but I'm going to go with my favorite one. Yes, I do actually. Yes. So last year I was teaching at Nile in Norwich. I was training at Nile in Norwich. I had a wonderful, wonderful group of students. They were absolutely incredible. And as we were leaving on our final day, we'd done our big litter pick, as obviously you do when you're doing teacher training. You go on a 2-hour litter pick. We'd done that, and we got back to the classroom, and they handed over a charity shop bought shirt and a hat as well. It's not this hat. So yeah, it's with great fondness. Every time I wear it, I think about that amazing group. They were just brilliant. I'll be back at Nile this year as well. So they're a tough act to follow, I have to say. So if you have signed up for this course, then
no pressure.
Big boots to fill, or a big shirt to fill, really, I guess.
Oh, well, we look forward to seeing what secondhand shirt you're going to be wearing for the closing plenary. Thank you, Harry. That was really nice chatting to you.
Thank you so much.
Harry, thank you so much. And we hope to see you at the studio in Edinburgh as well.
I'd be more than happy to be there. I'll wear a different secondhand shirt that day.
Please.
I won't wear the same one.
Thank you so much, Harry. We will see you in Edinburgh. All right. So, Nikki, let's invite Anka back in. There we go.
Hi. Hello.
So, we've learned so much from this show, haven't we?
We have, and we've got so much to look forward to. And I can't believe it's the end of next week. It's crazy.
And as Jon said before, there is so much positive energy around the conference, and everyone that we've been talking to, and the comments live as well, are truly an indication of how much people are looking forward to the conference as well. So whether you will be joining us in Edinburgh, or whether you will be joining us live from our IATEFL live show in Edinburgh, we will be happy to just show you around the conference as well. All right, so next week, next Thursday at 2 p.m. UK time, we will be having our last show before the conference. And girls, what we will be doing then is we will be giving tips for the people who will be coming to the conference as well. So stay tuned, of course. And that's a wrap, really. So, girls, are you ready?
I'm always ready.
Excellent. Lovely. So that's a wrap for today. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, we will see you again on IATEFL Live next week. Thank you so much, everybody.